Marc Marquez in 2025 is not riding for points, not riding for fun, not even riding for redemption. He is riding for erasure. Catalunya exposed it in full daylight. They tell you Alex was faster. They tell you Marc was beaten. They tell you stories dressed up like facts. But what they don't admit is this. Lap 16, lap 17, lap 19, Marc was right there. One twitch of his throttle and the race was his. His signature move, get past, stretch a few tenths, suffocate the rider behind, was cocked, loaded, and begging to be fired. He didn't. He stayed back, eyes locked on Alex's tail unit like a lion pacing beside its cub. Why? Because mercy is rare, and in Marc's world, mercy only flows through bloodlines. Alex wasn't winning Catalunya. Marc was gifting Catalunya, wrapping it in red ribbon and dropping it on his brother's lap. Anyone else in front would have been executed on turn 1, turn 10, or turn 16. Marc stayed behind and told the world without words, this win belongs to Alex. Not because he took it, but because I gave it. That's the brutality. Alex wasn't faster. Marc wasn't slower. It was scripted in Marc's head before the lights even went out. And the proof? Listen to Marc himself. I didn't want to lift the trophy in Misano. Read that again. He literally declared his intentions before the bloodbath. Catalunya had to be Alex's weekend, because if Alex didn't win there, he wouldn't win anywhere. The tracks left on the calendar are jungles where Marc thrives. Japan, Thailand, Phillip Island, Sepang. Arenas built for predators, not brothers. Alex's only shot for a second win was Catalunya. Marc knew it. He didn't just race, he curated the history books. He engineered the one window where Alex could touch glory before it shut forever. And here's the cruelest detail. Marc didn't do it because Alex deserved it. He did it because Marc didn't want anyone else to break his streak but Alex. If his record had to be dented, it had to be dented by family, not rivals. That's gangster mentality. Control every narrative, even your own defeats. But Catalunya was just the first act in the theater. Now we are in Misano, Valentino Rossi's backyard. The crowd still chants for the ghost of 46, still carries the yellow sun in their veins, still boos Marc like he spat in their pasta. This is where Marc's ruthlessness escalates from personal to cultural, because Misano is sacred ground for Rossi's legacy, and Marc knows it. He could have ended the championship here. He could have sealed his 9th crown, silenced the season, dropped the curtain. But he didn't. Why? Because lifting that trophy in Rossi's backyard would be chaos. Imagine the booze, the bottles, the venom. They would have tried to book him, cage him, turn his victory into a riot. Marc doesn't win to be booed. Marc wins to be immortalized. He wants no asterisk. He wants no, yeah, but the crowd. He wants coronation, not controversy. So Misano becomes the trap. His plan is simple. Burn the sprint, burn the main race, make everyone kneel, but delay the crown. Make them choke on their own anticipation, drag Rossi's worshippers into the dirt, and then save the final dagger for later. That's not sport. That's staged warfare. Because where does he want the coronation? Not Italy, not Spain, not even neutral ground. He wants Japan. Think about the poetry. 6 of his titles were forged in Honda. His blood, sweat, and surgeries were baptized in their factory. They gave him the weapon, then they betrayed him with failure. He walked away, carrying titanium in his body and ghosts in his head. Now he rides Ducati, the machine that replaced Honda's crown jewel. Imagine the scene. Honda's home race, Marc Marquez, now in red, lifting his 9th world title in the spiritual home of the team that raised him. That's a blood ritual. That's spitting in the face of fate. That's vengeance that lives forever. He is not chasing points. He is chasing scripture. His 9th will be written where the betrayal began. That's why Misano was never the ending. Japan is the altar, and the sacrifice will be complete. Look at the math. Marc is nearly 200 points clear. Pecco is about to be humiliated by a 250-plus point gap. That isn't losing. That's being exiled. That's Ducati saying, thank you for your service, but this man is our future. Alex, his emotions are done now. He got Catalunya. He got his brother's blessing, but from Misano onward, it's slaughter. Marc will not give him another crumb. The leash is off, the mercy is locked away, and the next 7 rounds are executions. 7 sprints, 7 main races, 14 bullets left in the chamber. And with each shot, Marc rewrites MotoGP's modern DNA. No one gaps rivals like this in this era. Electronics, tires, aerodynamics, everything is designed to equalize. Yet Marc is making the gap look medieval, like he's lapping men in a different universe. This isn't dominance. This is extermination. But here's the thing most people miss. Marc's destruction isn't born from talent alone. It's born from suffering. This man lived through surgeries that would have ended careers. He spent seasons dragging a corpse of a Honda around tracks where others were flying. He went from king to cripple to ghost, and he didn't fold. He rebuilt. He molded his pain into a weapon sharper than before. And that's the gospel he's preaching now. When life rips you apart, don't cry, don't crawl. Build yourself harder than the pain that broke you. Show up scarred, stitched, but merciless. Take everything back, and when it's your time, don't give anyone mercy. That's why he let Alex win. That was mercy for family. But for the rest, there's no mercy, only massacre. Look at his words heading into Misano. Keep the same mentality. That's the scariest sentence you'll hear. Because Marc's mentality isn't about winning, it's about annihilating. He says when 2025 ends, 2026 begins the next day. No rest, no reflection, just reload. That's not a champion. That's a machine, and rivals know it. Reigning champ Jorge Martin, Pecco, KTM hopefuls, they all realize they're extras in a movie where Marc wrote the script. They're just playing the parts of victims. Even Alex, the brother who got a slice of mercy, knows his chapter is closed. From now until the end of the season, Marc isn't racing. He's purging. History will record 2025 not as a season, but as a lesson in brutality. Catalunya was the mercy chapter. Misano will be the revenge theater. Japan will be the coronation altar. And every race in between will be a war crime on asphalt. He's chasing Rossi's 89, not with hunger, but with inevitability. He's not asking if, it's just when. And when he erases that record, Rossi becomes a memory, not a god. Misano fans can chant all they want, but they're watching their idol fade under the shadow of a man they hate. That's the deepest pain, being forced to acknowledge your enemy as the true king. So let's not get twisted. This isn't Ducati's win. This isn't Honda's loss. This isn't MotoGP's new balance. This is Marc Marquez showing the world the hierarchy of power. The king never died, the weapon did. Honda failed him, but he didn't fail himself. He switched machines, carried his scars, and came back to lead, to respect, and to make every rival kneel. Catalunya proved he controls not just races, but the story itself. Misano will prove he can win where they hate him most. Japan will prove his legacy belongs to no brand, no fan base, no flag. It belongs to him alone. And that's the lesson. When life crushes you, don't break. Don't whine. Don't settle. Mold yourself into something more brutal than pain. And when the moment comes, take everything back with no mercy. That's Marc Marquez's gospel. That's why 2025 is the most savage chapter this sport will ever see. Marc Marquez is not back. He never left. The king just needed a sharper blade, and now everyone kneels.